Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. You're in with Miss Rodriguez this morning. We're going to continue our writing and our poetry unit. So we are going to start in with session 6 today, searching for honest, precise words. So our objective today is going to be, I want to teach you that poets think very carefully about the words that they choose. They search for the exact, honest words, words that match what they are trying to say. Poets reread their poetry and ask themselves, are these words creating the image that I want? If not, they revised their poem. So we're going to take a look at a poem and we're going to focus specifically on one word that I pull out of that poem. And we're going to see if we can think about the precise words that we can replace it with. Okay? So this poem is called My Mom. In my lunchbox, a frozen juice, because it's hot today, covered in paper so it won't melt. How come I never, ever see her do this? All right, so we're going to look at the word covered. Okay, so I'm thinking about this word covered, specifically that the juice box is covered in paper, and I'm trying to brainstorm what kind of picture does that paint in my mind? Covered. So I'm thinking about a juice box covered, and you close your eyes and you can visualize. I'm thinking, what are some other words? Oh, how about I can write wrapped. Wrapped? Okay. Maybe it paints a little bit of a picture. I'm not sure it's the exact one that I was thinking of. Maybe held. Because we know that wrapped and held, they're both kind of synonyms for covered. Okay, but it's kind of similar to that covered. Nestled. That's kind of a precise word. So if you think about a juice box, if it's being nestled in your lunchbox, if it's like put in tight between things. Okay, how about, I'm thinking something else. How about protected? If I write this word protected and I think about it, if I think about my juice box being in my lunchbox and wrapped in paper, why would it be wrapped in paper? I'm thinking to keep it nice and cold, maybe? Or to keep it from getting all the other parts of my lunch wet. So I really like this word protected because I feel like it really describes what that paper is doing for my juice box. So I think that would be the precise word that I'm going to go with. So I would replace that word covered here, and I could change it to protected. So that way it's a little bit more descriptive on what it's doing. Okay? So if I take a look at these steps for finding precise words, this is just something that you would do every time that you are planning on adding precise words to your poems. Step 1 is reread, ask if my words exactly matched my image, and circle any that didn't. So that's kind of what we did in the last poem. We looked and we read through the poem, and then we pulled out that word covered, and we said, didn't really match the image that was in my head. I'm going to think of something else. And then second of all, what did I do? I visualized the image in my head, and then I listed those other possible words. Okay, so that's when I went through and I listed some other words that I might have liked better than covered. And then my third choice was choosing the best one. So I said that that word protected fit my visualization best because I compared it to, oh, it's being protected from ruining other items of my lunch, or it's protecting the juice box itself from being warm. So that's kind of what we did there. Those steps were how we worked that out. So this next poem we'll read aloud and we'll do the same thing, except this time maybe you can pause it and then we'll go over together what we pulled out, okay? So this poem's called Read Aloud. I have a place on the rug where I sit during read aloud. I sit there and the book opens, and I'm flying on the back of a dragon, riding a motorcycle, feeding bugs to a frog, winning the blue banner. A story comes out, another world comes alive, and we are in it. All right, so go ahead and pause there. I want you to take like a minute or so, and I want you to circle words that you think you can find more precise words for, more descriptive words, okay? And then we're going to go over it. All right, so the ones that I decided to pull out, erase my board. pulled out the word opens. So this word opens, I pulled out and I said, you know what? Maybe instead of opens, something more precise, more descriptive, something I can visualize in my head better is if you have a book, you don't just think about opening. Sometimes what happened? You have the book maybe popping open. So it could pop open. Okay? Or I guess I should reword that so it says pops open. Oh, man. All right, there we go. Miss Rodriguez is on it now. Pops open, okay? Then maybe it could burst open. Maybe. Using those precise words. Or maybe I'm going to even be more descriptive and I'm painting even a different picture in my mind. Maybe I'm going to say spreads its wings. I really like that one. I really like that last one. I'll tell you why I like it. Because if you think about a book, I have a million books around here. Hold on. Woo! All right. So if we think about a book, when we open a book, it kind of makes it look like it has wings, right? So it kind of gives us that visual of wings. So when I say spreads its wings, it kind of gives us that feeling of like a bird, and it kind of paints that story picture. So I kind of like that one. So that would be me trading this word opens for something more precise and descriptive, spreads its wings. I sit there and the book spreads its wings. And it kind of makes that story come alive, which I really do like. And that's what the whole point of it is. Trying to make your story come alive and be more detailed and exciting for the reader. All right, so another word that I chose was comes out. A story comes out. I don't know, that's kind of boring. I feel like we could brainstorm and make something sound a little bit better than comes out. So if I think of something, how else can I say comes out? Oh, I could say flies to us. Now, we know the story's not actually flying, right? But it is our imagination, and it kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. I could say the story, grabs our ears. Now, do you think the story is going to just grab your actual ears, or do you think that we're just saying that because it's kind of more descriptive and it's kind of more exciting to think like that? Yeah, it's definitely not going to grab our ears for real, but it just does make it a little bit more exciting. It's a more precise word to make it more exciting for the reader. And I can even say the story fills the room, and that's just a saying just to make it sound like there's a lot that we're about to read about, like the story has a lot to tell us. So all of these different phrases, all of these precise words kind of add a little bit more description to a story comes out, right? It adds a little bit more of an engagement factor to our readers, to the people who are going to be reading our poems. Okay, so when I went through and I read this poem, I made sure I just picked some words that I thought, this is kind of boring. I feel like we could spice this up a little bit. And I made a list of things that I felt were a little bit more exciting for a reader to read. And then if this were my poem, I could go through and I could revise it and I could say a story fills the room. Well, fills the room. There we go. Okay? And then lastly, so here are the strategies that we've been looking at during this poetry unit, specifically with strengthening our poetry. We have making meaning with images, make meaning with music, and we were talking about adding line breaks. That was back in that session. Putting it all together, using honest, precise words, which is what we did today. Pay attention to line breaks, deciding on the mood and bringing it out, and then showing, not telling. So making sure that your readers are feeling your poetry, not just reading them off the lines. Okay? So it is now your turn. I just said a whole lot. It is now your turn. So you're going to use a piece of paper or pencil or tell a family member. So write a poem. Then I want you to reread your poem. Circle any words you think you can spruce up and make better with those precise words. And then make a list of precise words that you think would be better there and revise your poem. Okay? I can't wait to see all the creative poems that are about to come our way. Good luck, guys. Have a great Thursday.